Hello everybody, my name is Castor, and I am a little bored of Secret of Mana for a while, so I decided that I'm going to play something from my childhood, something that means a lot to me. Good old Kirby Super Star. Now, a lot of people absolutely love this game, for obvious reasons. It is an amazing time. We're not going to spend too much time just faffing around. I'm going to get straight into it. No, I said we're going to get straight into it, game. Thank you. We're going to play on save file 1, because it is a fresh save file. Now, for those that don't know, Kirby Super Star is a sort of anthology of a lot of different ideas for the Kirby series. Kirby, for those of you who don't know, is kind of the testing grounds for a lot of different game styles. Different elements, different themes, just random things. You can make a Kirby game around it, and it will make sense, for whatever reason. For instance, we have a racing game, we have a collectathon, we have... I mean, this is kind of like a Metroidvania collectathon, too. We've got your standard platformer, and we've got other things coming down the pipeline later. For right now, we're going to jump straight into the first game, Spring Breeze. Now, Spring Breeze is a kind of an abridged version of the first Kirby game ever, Kirby's Dreamland. Is this your first time playing? Sure. Yes. Guide. Welcome to the Beginner Show. For all your first-time players, here's how we play. I'm also playing on the SNES Mini, so I actually get a Super Nintendo controller. That gray thing with the purple buttons? This is Kirby, our hero. Yay! He's a jolly fella. He does not look jolly. Move Kirby left or right. Yay! You can also dash by double tapping. B is jump. A has a certain effect. Y inhales, and X does nothing right now. The shoulder buttons both guard. Start and select pause and skip out. It's basically just going over a lot of the controls, which I will go over later. And here we are. Our first enemy is a Waddle-Doo. And if we swallow it, we get Kirby's signature copy ability. Now, in Kirby games, there are 3 different styles. There's the ones where Kirby does not get any copy abilities at all. There's the Kirby's Adventure style copy abilities, where one move is all you get, regardless of what you do. And then there's the Kirby Super Star, where you get an entire arsenal of moves. Y is the Beam Whip. Dash Y is Cycle Beam. If we dash and use Y in the air, we get the Beam Machine Gun. We can capture an enemy if we do it near an enemy. And if we hold it, we can get the Wave Beam. So let's see those in action, okay? We've got this. Oh, we can't just slash it with, I forget that was the mirror ability. If we hold it, there's our Wave Beam. That's our dash ability. We can Shotgun Blast. And this pink guy here is a Bronto Burt. Now, we see a door here. What do we do if we go in the door? Well, we have a Sir Kibble, another copy ability. Now, you have a couple options. You can... The only way you can drop a Kirby ability is by pushing the A button, which in this game creates a helper. Helpers are not necessarily the best, but they can be nice meat shields for you if you need it. Now, our second ability, Cutter. The Cutter can cut anything in its path. Use it to cut enemies as well as ropes that get in your way. We can use Y for the Cutter Boomerang. We can dash and do the Cutter Dash attack. There's also the Cutter Drop attack, which those of you who have played Super Smash Bros. would immediately recognize this. We can also do a down attack. and the non-stop cutter ability. Let's go actually see that in action. If my helper would let me. Or not. Don't worry about your helper falling behind. They will teleport to you. Now, another thing you can do I got hit is you can throw what is known as a Kirby Hat and actually change your helper. Now, I like the bomb ability. The bomb ability is very potent. Now, you probably see when I am using it, there's that little white dot that kind of appears. That's a targeting reticle to show you the arc that you're going to throw the bomb. If you hold it, you'll lob it very, very high, but you don't get a lot of horizontal distance. If you just tap it, you get a very low arc, but you get a lot of distance. And of course, you can... Ow! Bastard bear! Now, I'm not going to go into kind of what all of the different abilities do, mostly just because I already know what most of them do. Also, yes, Kirby can fly. You just jump. Alright, here we are at the end of level 1. Against Wispy Woods. If I hold down and use a bomb, Kirby just drops it. Alright, moving on to level 2. Float Islands. I just love the idea that Kirby didn't even unhook the fish, and now he's hooked himself. Ooh, one of my favorite abilities. This is the fighter ability. I don't think there's anything down here. Yeah, there's not. Now, the fighter ability actually has quite a few different moves. Copy the abilities of the fighter and assume the role of a mighty karate expert. Increase your power with practice. The strength of the attack depends on how long you hold Y. So, most attacks in this game have, or I should say most attacks in this copy ability, have two different variants. There's the strong and the weak version. A standard Y does a Vulcan jab, whereas a strong Y does the smash punch. That is the smash punch. That is the Vulcan jab. You can do that in the air, or I can just do kind of like a drop elbow or something like that. There's also a Shoryuken. There's a trip attack or a full-on flying kick. Now, unlike later Kirby games, Kirby doesn't actually change color in those games, whereas in this one he will. Depending on what his Kirby form is, he will actually change colors. As you probably saw with the beam ability, he changed to yellow. In later installments, and even in Kirby Super Star Ultra for the DS, he didn't. And I kind of missed that. Ooh, that was close. Now this enemy right here that's blinking red, that is a Gordo. They are completely indestructible. This here is super candy. We're just going to ignore the Burnin' Leo. Super Candy is kind of like your invincibility star from Mario. Anything you touch dies instantly, or it takes a lot of damage. Now, I am going to consume this bomb here and get what is known as the Crash ability. Now, I'm going to hope that Knuckle Joe is smart enough not to die, because I want that ability back. Lo, and la, la, la. Oh. Now, Crash... is able to one-shot most things. It does a huge amount of damage. Alright, Knuckle Joe, come here. Now, most of the game, especially on the early ones, I'm probably not going to be using followers. Mostly just because I don't need them. The Bubbly Cloud, Stage 3. We're cooking right along here. Alright, Sword Kirby. There's a Sword ability. Now, Sword ability is actually pretty decent. Oh, I forget you have to be in the air for that. Ah! God, those guys hurt. Now, a lot of people say that they've got, like, a favorite ability that they like to use in this game. And the thing is, most abilities in this game are fairly balanced. You know, not one is not any better than the other. I swear I was holding up. Oh well. I get to show off Kirby's Star Bullet. Now, if you're in base form, when Kirby sucks up an enemy with his Inhale ability, you can then spit it back out as a Star Bullet, which I will demonstrate against the mini-boss, Kracko Jr. here. Ow! Not to be confused with the Air Bullet. Kirby's Air Bullet does no damage to most big bosses, and he gets the Air Bullet by flying. The Star Bullet, on the other hand, does. Now this right here is a mic. This gives... Now, you... Trying to collect my thoughts here. So, you see how Kirby is kind of blinking like he was with the Crash ability. That is because Kirby is using what is known as a limited resource ability. Crash is a limited resource ability, as you saw, and so is Mike. Now, I am saving Mike specifically because... There we go. I want to get full health. I want that. Because we do have a boss coming up. And I am definitely going to cheese it the same way I did with Lo 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 and La La La. Or not. Because this is bonkers! Which is the most powerful ability in the game. The hammer ability is coincidentally, bonkers strong. And one of my favorite abilities. I forgot bonkers was down there, so... But we've already beat level 3. We're moving on to level 4. Mount Dedede. Now, a lot of people who have played Kirby's Dreamland probably noticed it skipped a stage. It skipped the sky stage, or I should mention, it kind of abridged things. You didn't fight the giant blimp enemy. And that is true. That boss is nowhere in this game. Alright, here we go. Versus King Dedede, who is doing much more damage to me. Now, you probably noticed if I dash, I do a spin. Now, be careful which button you hit when you do that, because if you hit A, you actually throw it. And you get rid of your hammer ability. But when I said that hammer is the strongest ability in the game, yes, I realize what I said earlier about hammer being, you know, about most abilities being balanced. And that is true. Most of them are. Hammer is not most abilities, though. Hammer is obscenely powerful. You saw that I two-shot King Dedede with it. But that is Kirby Super Star done! Or is it? It's actually not. This is just, as I mentioned, the first game in the anthology. Up next, Gourmet Race. Now that food has been returned to all of Dreamland, we're going to beat King Dedede to get it. First time playing Gourmet Race? No! It teaches you anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And fans of Smash Brothers will probably recognize this as the song they use for Green Greens. Sometimes letting King Dedede do the work is better. You can't tell I've done this a few times, can you? Number 2. Now this one I should be able to get pretty far ahead of King Dedede. He does run a bit faster than Kirby. Oh wow, he actually got ahead of me on that. I know on the third stage I'll be able to get way ahead of him. Like, it's not even going to be a competition. But here we have where Spring Breeze was a game of just simple Kirby platforming. This one's more of... Oh! Boy, I screwed that up. I jumped way too late. I got copy abilities now, Dedede. You got nothing on me. I don't think even if he were to win this, that he would actually be able to beat me. Because wins, I believe, count as 30 points each, on top of all the food you've gathered. You can get upwards of 200 points. Or more, if I remember right. I'm not going to go back for it. No idea how I jumped midair like that, but I'm okay with it. There we go. Way ahead of him. That jet ability is great. Oh yeah, he had no hope. 228. That might be a record for me. But as I was saying, Gourmet Race is actually really hard to... not really hard to do, but it's tough to speak while trying to think that quickly. But fans of Smash Bros. Probably recognize the song that was used as the theme song to Green Greens. It's actually the Gourmet Race theme that made its debut here in Kirby Super Star. But up next we have a little bit more difficult platformer, Spring Breeze style platformer in Dynablade. Dynablade is destroying all the crops. She must be stopped. Master the different abilities and defeat her. Shall we explain copy? No! I already know! So this one features a more Mario 3 Super Mario World style overworld, but it only has 5 levels because, again, it's test material. I thought you were on the other side, Sir Kibble. Alright, that was a Parasol Waddle Dee. Would have got us the Parasol ability. But again, you can clearly see that they're reusing assets to make a bigger game. And I think that that was genuinely brilliant. Most enemies also can't swim in the water, as you just saw. Wow, you actually survived. This guy is a broom hatter. They are specifically known for being very clean and, in this game, being completely useless. Now, I am going to drop Sir Kibble to take the beam ability because right here is a secret 1-up that you can get. That, and we didn't use beam much in Spring Breeze. Now, you probably noticed that that little Poppy Bros Jr. wasn't holding a bomb, and that is because he is a basic Poppy Bros Jr. There we go. Ow! Stop it! Alright, now I think that is the way to go, but if we come up here... This is a secret. A secret. Forget if there's anything up here. There's a Bronto Burt, a Maxim Tomato, and a 1-up. Because you gotta have the 1-ups. Nope, I skipped the secret. Oh well. If you come up here, there is a Super Candy! We go down here. Oh no, this isn't the right part. Oh, come on. Oh, I lost it. Oh well. Now, you see how right about here, those lines, not the wavy ones, but the straight ones, that is because I took a secret path, quote-unquote secret. They didn't exactly hide it all that much. But in doing so, it unlocked me the ability to get that Maxim Tomato. Because we're about to fight Chef Kawasaki! Sir Kibble, why don't you take that, heal up, and we're going to take the Cook ability. And I'm just going to demonstrate it right here. Kirby's original Final Smash from Brawl is the Cook ability, which is a, again, another temporary use ability. I don't think there's any others other than those three in this game. But Dynablade also introduces the end game. The mini-game, end-of-level mini-games to get extra lives. You see, you might not be able to see it on the recording, because it is recording, it is going to be edited at 30 frames per second. But there is a frame in which the power bar flashes white as soon as it hits max. If you get it there, you can get 3 1-ups. I'm going to try to do it. And I got nowhere close. I might be able to get to past the number 2. Nope. Oh, close enough. Alright, now, levels that are beaten are marked with a star. Levels that are not don't have that, as you can see, but this one, as you can see, has a little thing poking out of it. But that's not the direction of the next level. Is it a branching path? Well, the answer shall be revealed. Let's get the Parasol ability. And actually, I'm going to toss it and go in, because I don't want the Parasol ability, because I'm about to get Sword! And actually, if we go in here, I think it is, it's a boss fight. These are Meta Knight's minions. Ow! Boomerang cutter. Alright, here. Over here is a little secret, which takes us to Biospark. A ninja. But it also takes us down here with a 1-up. I'm up to 7 lives now. Ninja has a really cool ability. It can stick to walls. Other Kirby powers don't do that. It's completely useless considering Kirby can fly, but hey, a neat little effect. It can also throw kunai if you know. Ah! And I'm actually going to give that to. Now, you see how there's a bomb in there, but we don't have beam ability. Well, if we happen to copy Mirror, we can get the Mirror ability, which for a while was actually one of my favorites. And up here we have a giant button, a la Super Mario World, which unlocks a secret. That's what that little path sticking out was. Thank you. Depending on the arc of your jump when you're using that dash attack, you will do different things. But I'm actually going to take my ninja ability back. Now that... Ow. But now that I've actually used the mirror ability for what it was worth, there's not really a need to keep it. Now, those guys, well, yes, they do offer a copy ability, and it is the 4th temporary ability that I completely forgot about. It is useless. Kirby literally will go to sleep and just sit there. Okay, now we get a new ability in Wheel. And in case you didn't get an ability from all of the different wheels there, you could get it from this right here, which is an ability pedestal. I know they have an official name. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, we're taking the hammer ability. As I demonstrated in Spring Breeze, this is absolutely broken. But it actually does have another ability that I did not demonstrate last time. See this stake? Hammer is one of the few abilities that can actually press those. And if you do, it opens up another secret with 3 1-ups. Oh, darn it! I thought that would be redemption. Oh well, I guess it's not. Moving on. This is also something straight out of Super Mario Bros. 3. World Map Mini-Bosses. Now, just there you noticed that Knuckle Joe, or what is now Knuckle Joe, what used to be Biospark, was actually about to die. When the helper loses all of their hit points, all of their life bar, they actually go into what is called a self-destruct state, in which case, or at which point they will actually begin to explode. If they touch any enemy that offers a copy ability, they will become that copy ability. And our secret room is a copy ability room with all sorts of different new copy abilities in it. We've got Hammer. We have Sword, we have Bomb, We have Ninja, of course. We have a new one right over here in Plasma Kirby. By hitting the buttons, you charge up static electricity and can fire abilities a la Kamehameha. Now, right out of the gate, you have absolutely zero power. But, notice how it's charged. Here, let's charge all the way. Now, Kirby has this static field around him now, right? Watch as it dissipates, slowly. It might actually not dissipate. It should. It might take a minute. Come on, Kirby. Or not. Okay, so I don't think it will. But you see how it's glowing very, very slowly, right? Well, now it's glowing a little faster. Well, now it's glowing a little faster. Well, now it's fully charged. There are 4 different levels of power that this ability can use. Alright, now we also have Beam right here. Over here we have a new ability we haven't used called Fire. Now, Fire is actually really, really useful. If you hold it and bring it back, you can actually set Kirby on fire. You can do that. Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. I know most of the abilities by heart. We also have Fighter over here. We have Mirror and Cutter. Now, this is not the only copy room that is available. We will be able to go to another one shortly, which will have most of the other abilities. I'm going to stick with Fighter, or Fire, not Fighter. Mostly because it is the speedrunner's ability of choice. Also, helpers cannot use temporary abilities. I don't know if I mentioned that before. So things like Crash, one of the other ones we haven't seen yet, Chef Kawasaki. Yeah, helpers can't use those. Ow! If you do take a too strong of a hit, you actually lose your ability. I'm not even gonna get. I have 11 life. Why do I need more? Okay, I might actually die. I need to be a little more careful. No. Yeah, Fire is actually a pretty decent ability for bosses, especially for stationary bosses like Wispy Woods. Also, you can change the direction of the fire by hitting the different abilities. I am gonna need... Aha! Boomerang! Or I should say yo-yo, not boomerang. Okay. I happen to know that if you come over here, you can get the 1-up, as the food floats. 1-ups, or at least that 1-up, did not. Now, Yo-Yo is a really interesting... Whoa, that was weird. Yo-Yo is a really interesting ability, as it has, like, all sorts of different cool things you can do. It's kind of like... It is a very 90s thing. It's a 90ism. This right here is a Mr. Frosty. It would grant the ice ability, which, while it is good, it's not as good as fire. Alright. Moving on. Yes. Bam! Right into the wall. Ow! You probably noticed that Dynablade is a much longer, larger game. That is Bugsy. That is the that would offer the suplex ability, but I don't want the suplex ability. Why? It's kind of useless against most bosses. Ah, here we go. Full power. When I was a kid, I used to be able to nail that every single time. 15 lives, that is disgusting. What is that? Another secret? Why, yes it is. That is the other hidden ability room. Also, I just gotta say how much I love the music in this game. It's so energetic, full of life. We have to follow the hot dogs. Ow! Now this is the one I used to know right off the bat. I forget where the secret is. Ow. Really? There we go. Alright, so there's nothing up this way. Okay, yeah. Now, one of the neat parts about this, you remember how I said those Gordos are indestructible and they will cause a lot of damage if you touch them? Fire has one of the unique abilities of being able to pass right through. Kirby has iframes whenever he's using that Fireball Dash ability, which can come to great effect. And don't worry about, me skipping over all the various abilities. We will be using all of the abilities by the time the series comes to an end, which should only be like 2 or 3 episodes, depending on how long the rest of the games take. Now, Wing Kirby is very fast in the air. But ooh. It's in here, isn't it? Or is it in the next screen over? I always want to say it's in here, but I could be wrong. Ah, it's here. Leo. Alright. And in case you didn't have Burnin' Leo already, you would get one there. The game's usually really good about that. Oh, this isn't! Oh, no! Did I miss it again? No, it's got... There it is! Now, this little ability pedestal is very unique in that it offers the copy ability. Which, you might be thinking, what's the point? Kirby has that innately. You would be right. However, unlike other temporary abilities, this one can be given to a helper. A helper can have the copy ability. Which, by the way... Oh! Okay. Which, in case you didn't notice, the game is two-player... Ah! There we go. TAC, I believe it actually references take and copy. Alright, the stone ability. The stone ability is good for one thing and one thing only. Dropping rocks on foes. Rocks fall, everybody dies. Although you've probably noticed the lack of true boss fights in Dynablade. This kind of plays... Dynablade plays out a lot more like a standard, you know, kind of like how... I'm trying to think of the word for it. How in Kirby's Adventure, they had many, many stages with a single boss fight at the end. Mr. Frosty! I don't think so. Ah! He ate me. You know what? Yeah, let's do ice. Let's check ice. Ice turns Kirby a very brilliant shade of blue. And he becomes very fast. Now, you can't control the cold air like you can the fire, but if you tap it multiple times and keep tapping it, you can create a blizzard around Kirby. And just like Mr. Frosty froze me, you too can freeze your enemies. Chili! And of course, I got my signature hammer back because, yes. There we go. Oh, come on! I keep trying to style on him and use the super powerful attack. Chili, what are you doing? You're faster than that. Two in a row. I'm up to 23 lives. And finally, we have access to the second ability room. This has all the other abilities in the game. The ones that we didn't find in the first room are here. We have Wheel, which we've seen. We have Boom... not Boom... Why do I keep calling it Boomerang? We have Yo-Yo. We have Rock. We have Wing. We have Jet, which we saw in Gourmet Race. We have Parasol, which we kind of saw briefly at the start of this game. We have Mr. Frosty, also known as Ice or Chili, which is this guy right here. We have Suplex, which we have not seen, and we have Copy, which is good for two-player mode. But I'm going to stick with the best ability in the game, the Hammer. And here we have two, or I should say four ability pedestals to choose from. You have Cutter, Sword, Fire, and Beam. If you had to choose one, I would say probably choose Sword or Fire, as both can be fairly good. But you can always just exit back to the map and get Hammer, so... Now, Dynablade! Dynablade's head is the weak point. You can swallow those fires and get the fire ability if you don't already have it. When Dynablade lands, it shoots out stars, so if you don't have an ability at all, you can get the star bullet. Dynablade flies in. You're probably noticing there's a lot of different Master Hand abilities here. Things that Master Hand does, like the whole flying toward the screen. That was taken straight out of Dynablade. And there we go. Dynablade is defeated. And suddenly, the baby chicks! They're hungry, so what Kirby does? Wispy Woods, of course. Feed it the apples. Aw, isn't that cute? And there you have it. So far we have 100%ed Gourmet Race, Spring Breeze, Dynablade. We still have to do the Great Cave Offensive, and we just unlocked the Revenge of Meta Knight. And the reason we needed to beat Dynablade before we could do Revenge of Meta Knight? Well, you're just gonna have to see to find out. We probably noticed these two things right down here. These are just fun little mini-game collections. And in fact, let's play Megaton Punch. Blah! Cut the plant clean in half. That, but Bandana Waddle Dee, 151 megatons of power. Knuckle Joe, not bad. Not bad, Knuckle Joe, not bad. But how about that? 190 megatons of power. Not bad. Okay. I see you. Also, notice in the both the left and the right side of the screens, you have Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Birdo. Yes, there are multiple copies of them. Ooh, we got full power on that. So that's Megaton Punch right there. A neat, cheesy little distraction. And this one is a timing-based game. Or I should say a reaction-based. Basically, it's a draw. Yeah, I love how Kirby's weapon changes. It was a fan against Waddle Dee, a pie against Chef Kawasaki. Oh, Dedede beat me. So yeah, fun little distractions. I don't think they actually count towards progression. But they're neat little fun minigames. Now, next time on Kirby Super Star, we are going to be playing through the Great Cave Offensive. Probably my favorite, if not my second favorite, of the games in this anthology. And you will see why. Until then, guys, have a wonderful day. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Bye-bye.